Air fryers have quickly become one of the most popular gadgets in modern kitchens, but using one isn't as simple as switching it on and tossing in your ingredients. If you're not careful, you could damage the appliance or ruin your meal. Let's go over some of the most common air fryer mistakes people tend to make. You don't need to relearn how to cook from scratch, but thinking you can drop your usual recipes into an air fryer without adjusting things like temperature or timing is a major misstep, and one that can easily wreck your meal. Plenty of dishes can be converted for air fryer use with a few simple changes. A helpful guideline from Taste of Home is to reduce the cooking temperature by about 25 degrees Fahrenheit. After that, take a look at the cook time and plan to cut it down by roughly 20%, though there's a small catch to keep in mind. Cooking times in an air fryer aren't always as predictable as they are with something like a stovetop. Different models can vary quite a bit, meaning your food might cook faster or slower depending on the machine you're using. According to Taste of Home, something like French fries could take anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. So when you're trying out a new recipe or getting familiar with your air fryer, treat cook times as a flexible estimate rather than a strict rule. And remember, it likely won't match the timing of other cooking methods. It's easy to trust that the temperature on your kitchen appliances is accurate, but that's not always true. Taste of Home reports that an air fryer's actual heat level can be quite different from what the display shows. In their testing, some models ran hotter while others stayed cooler, and that gap can be the difference between perfectly crisp fries and a disappointing batch. The good news is that checking your air fryer's temperature is simple. All you need is an oven thermometer, and it's not something you'll only use once and forget about. Over time, appliance controls can wear down and lose accuracy. That's why it's a good idea to test your oven's temperature about every 6 months or so, just to confirm it's still heating correctly. Once you have an accurate reading, you can adjust your cooking as needed. No one wants their meal to come with a risk of food poisoning. Even though air fryers feel pretty straightforward to use, it's still important to double-check that your food has reached a safe internal temperature before you serve it. Brain's report tested several air fryers and noticed a common trend. They often needed more time to cook food thoroughly than typical guidelines suggest. As a simple experiment, they recommended toasting a slice of bread. Some machines finished the job in about 3 minutes, while others took closer to 10. That difference might not matter much for toast, but with something like chicken, it could be the gap between a great dinner and a case of salmonella. Because of that, it's not enough to rely on appearance alone when cooking meat. Using a reliable instant read thermometer is the best way to ensure everything is fully cooked. Take poultry as an example. The USDA says it should reach an internal temperature of at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit to be safe to eat. When you're working with a method that can vary as much as air frying, it's always worth making sure you've hit the right temperature. The name air fryer is actually a bit misleading because you still need to use some oil when cooking with one. The difference is you only need a small amount. For most foods, about 1 to 2 teaspoons will do the trick, while breaded items that you want extra crispy may need closer to 1 to 2 tablespoons.
Basically, it takes less than a spoon of oil for this thing really to make it work.
That's because even though rapidly circulating hot air will cook your food, skipping oil altogether can leave it dry, overcooked, or tough. Adding a small amount helps create that crisp texture you're looking for. This is particularly important for fried or breaded foods, where a light coating of oil allows the exterior to heat properly and turn that appealing golden brown. Some products have become staples in kitchens everywhere, and Pam is definitely one of those long-time go-to items.
America's favorite no-stick spray.
Non-stick cooking spray can feel like a kitchen hero, and it's tempting to grab that aerosol can to make cleanup easier in your air fryer. But that's actually something you'll want to avoid. According to air cookers, most air fryers already come with a non-stick coating, and certain aerosol sprays can damage that surface. Some of the propellants used in these sprays may cause the coating to wear down or peel over time. If you've ever seen your pan start to flake, your cooking spray could be part of the reason. A better option is to switch to a refillable pump sprayer or oil mister. It lets you lightly coat your air fryer basket and anything else you're cooking without risking damage to the nonstick finish. It's easy to keep using your air fryer over and over without cleaning it, especially since you're not dealing with a greasy pan full of oil like you would with traditional frying. Still, skipping cleanup is a mistake. When residue builds up, it can cause several issues. Crumbs and leftover bits in the basket may burn the next time you cook, while excess oil in the drawer can start to smoke, giving your food an unpleasant taste and even creating a fire risk. Over time, those leftovers can also lead to lingering odors that make your kitchen smell less than appetizing. Rather than leaving it for later, it's best to clean your air fryer after each use. Remove the basket, tray, and drawer and wash them by hand with warm water and dish soap. These parts are typically designed to come out easily, and keeping them clean will help your appliance work properly, so you can keep turning out great meals. There's no magic button for perfect results, so a few steps are essential to get the most out of your air fryer. You can't just toss food in and dial in the temperature. Like any cooking method, preheating is key. If you put a potato wedge into cold oil on the stove, you'd end up with a greasy, pale mess. And the same principle applies in an air fryer. Aim to preheat your air fryer for about 10 minutes before cooking. You can use that time to prep veggies, bread your proteins, or even squeeze in a few minutes of your favorite Netflix episode. Preheating ensures that your food starts cooking instantly, allowing the exterior to crisp up rather than steam and turn soggy. With the outside properly crisped, the inside stays perfectly tender and moist, all thanks to that quick preheat. Seasoning is key to great fried foods, so you'll probably want to generously coat your ingredients with your favorite spices before air frying. But caution is important. Air fryers cook by circulating hot air at high speed, which can affect how seasonings stick and cook on your food.
I simply let the hot air do the work for me.
In other words, any spices that aren't properly coated on your food can be blown around by the strong airflow, leaving your dish under-seasoned and creating a messy cleanup inside your air fryer.
It's a whirlwind of superheated air.
The same principle applies to breaded coatings and other light ingredients. To avoid a whirlwind of flying spices, it helps to season strategically. For example, lightly spray vegetables with oil before adding seasoning so it adheres properly, or mix your spices directly into the flour, egg wash, or breading when preparing chicken tenders, rather than sprinkling them on afterward to keep everything in place. If your go-to churro recipe relies on a batter, or you usually coat hot dogs in a thick cornmeal mixture, you'll need to stick with traditional pan or deep frying. Wet batters don't work in an air fryer. They drip through the basket and end up burning in the tray below. For crispy air-fried results, it's best to use dry breadings or doughs. A classic 3-step breading method works especially well. First, dredge your ingredient in seasoned flour, then dip it in beaten egg, and finally coat it with breadcrumbs. Lightly mist each piece with oil before cooking. The result is golden brown, crunchy foods that are lower in fat than traditional frying, but just as flavorful. If you bought an air fryer to make healthier meals with fresh, unprocessed vegetables, here's a surprising tip. Frozen veggies often work better than fresh ones. Raw vegetables can burn on the outside in an air fryer before the inside is fully cooked. Frozen vegetables, however, contain more moisture, which helps them cook evenly and prevents a burnt exterior while the interior stays underdone. Plus, most frozen veggies are picked and frozen at peak freshness, so you still get rich flavor, sometimes even more consistent than with fresh produce. How many times have you reheated leftover pizza, orange chicken, or fries, only to end up with soggy crust, burnt edges, or tough, rubbery textures? Too often, those meals end up in the trash. That's where the air fryer shines. It revives leftovers beautifully. Pizza gets a crisp bottom while the cheese melts just right. Fries and tater tots regain their crunch, and most solid foods taste far better reheated in the air fryer than in a microwave or oven. With a name like air fryer, it's easy to assume these gadgets are only for frying. But for those willing to get a little creative in the kitchen, that couldn't be further from the truth. While reheating frozen or leftover fried foods is fantastic, the air fryer really shines when making crispy breaded dishes from scratch. You can control the ingredients, skipping the preservatives, additives, and excess sodium found in many frozen options, while achieving a crunchier result than baking in the oven. Even better, your meals stay lower in fat compared to traditional frying. Try breading chicken or pork chops, or whip up a fresh batch of chicken parmesan. Your air fryer can save time without sacrificing flavor or crispiness. One of the things that makes air fryers so handy is their versatility. They can even handle your favorite baked treats. Why bake in an air fryer? It uses far less energy than heating up a full oven. And in the warmer months, it keeps your house from turning into a sauna just because you're craving chocolate cake. Another perk is that converting standard oven recipes for the air fryer is simple. Usually, you can follow the same temperature and cook time called for in the original recipe. The main thing to watch is your air fryer's size. Some models have round baskets, others square. So make sure your pans or inserts fit properly. Ramekins and silicone molds work great for individual desserts, cooking quickly and evenly. And always use some type of pan or insert. Without it, batter or dough can drip through the holes at the bottom, burn, and even pose a fire risk. Most air fryers come with a simple basket, which is perfect for classics like fries, frozen snacks, and reheating leftovers. But if you want to get the most out of your appliance, adding a few accessories can really expand what you can do. First, always place your air fryer on a heat-resistant surface. If your countertop can't handle high temperatures, a silicone mat is a smart, inexpensive way to protect it, much cheaper than replacing the entire surface. Inside the air fryer, accessories like cake pans, silicone molds, ramekins, and racks can open up new cooking possibilities. They help prevent spills, overflow, and burning, so you can safely cook a wider variety of dishes without worry. Don't forget about tools that make cleanup easier too. Oil sprayers help keep food from sticking, and parchment liners protect the basket's bottom. The simpler it is to clean, the more likely you'll keep using your air fryer regularly. No matter how much you enjoy cooking, there's one thing everyone can agree on. Nobody loves cleaning up. Air fryers are convenient, but they can be tricky to clean, and it's tempting to cut corners, which you shouldn't. Scrubbing the basket and drawer is tedious enough, but drying them with a towel can be even more annoying. Fortunately, there's a simple solution. According to Blue Jean Chef, after washing your air fryer parts, just put the basket and drawer back in the machine and run it for a few minutes. That extra moisture evaporates, leaving your air fryer completely dry and helping prevent that faint, funky smell that can appear if damp parts sit around. If you've tried every tip and trick and still can't get your air fryer meals to turn out as perfectly as everyone else's, don't be too hard on yourself. It might not be your fault. A UK consumer watchdog examined how air fryer price affects performance. They discovered that while some budget models could handle simple tasks like a single serving of fries, spending a bit more money made a noticeable difference in capacity, the ability to cook multiple items at once, and smart features. Cheaper models can also come with practical drawbacks, like a power cord that's too short to safely place the appliance in your kitchen. BBC Good Food found similar results when testing several air fryers. They identified only one decent budget option, while most of their recommended models ranged from $207 to $345. In short, if you went for a low-cost air fryer, it might struggle to deliver great results even when you follow all the rules. Upgrading could be the solution.